Much, Dan and Worthen, and I am absolutely hyped for this final match. Of course, I'm TJ, joined by Chalky and Crip for this final match. Are you guys excited as I am?
I am so excited. After watching those last two matches and the endings to both, just incredible. Both of these players' journeys to the finals.
Yeah.
I just feel like these semifinals were so good.
Yeah.
It might be hard to top in the final.
It definitely is going to be hard to top, but let's take a look at the bracket for what we've seen so far today. We started off the day with Demigod versus Domdis, Roger versus Phonetap, Trump versus KitKats, and Reynad versus Life Coach. And at the end of the day, we're left with two players standing. Phonetap, the guy that made it all the way here from the open bracket, the guy that all these pro players that are qualifying these tournaments attribute some of their success to, the guy that's never made it to a LAN performance before and gets really emotional about some of these games, Phonetap. And then, of course, I mean, I guess it's sort of good guy versus villain. I hate to paint it as that story, but this is sort of what it's come to.
Yeah, Reynad is not the most liked in the Hearthstone community, but I think he does have quite a few followers still. I don't think he's the evilest of villains, but it is definitely a very different story. Reynad is very established in the Hearthstone community, one of the most established, and a win for him. I'm sure he'll want it just as much as anyone, but it would mean much more to Phonetap if he took the prize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all like Reynad for, the saltiness and all that, but you can definitely tell this means a lot to Phonetap. He might be the happiest guy I've ever seen to be in a grand finals of an event.
Yeah. All right, well, we want to know what you guys think as well. Join in on the conversations on Twitter. Follow us at ESL Hearthstone. Use the hashtag HLS. Let us know your predictions. You can also, let's use the hashtag Phonetap win or Reynad win to see how many people are on each of these guys' team. You said there's still a lot of people out there that love Reynad.
Though. You can't do that.
No, we can do that.
Get the support out there for Phonetap. Reynad has tons of fans, but Reynad fans, show your support too.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be awesome. And, of course, none of this would be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Plantronics and Gigabyte. We're able to put on a crazy, awesome LAN event like this, fly 16 of the best players in the world to Burbank, California. They got to hang out for a while. We got to send them to the Blizzard campus. And, of course, none of this would be possible at all without the people that make Hearthstone esports possible. So a big shout-out to Plantronics and Gigabyte. If you guys want some of their gear, you can get some Plantronics Rig headsets, some Gigabyte motherboards. Head to those links down below that you just saw. Go to legendaryseries.com and support us, support what we do here. And with that, I think it's almost time to move in to the grand final match of Season 2 Legendary Series, Reynad versus Phonetap.
Okay, what do you guys think of this? Both players starting with what most people would consider their weaker decks that have kind of struggled in this event.
Yeah. I feel like Tempo Mage and Mech Shaman kind of play out the same game, and they suffer the same weaknesses.
Yeah, and I mean, I think in this matchup, I think the Mage is probably favored.
Just because it's slightly more consistent.
Yeah, I mean, the Shaman goes face and has a lot of damage, but it doesn't really have any kind of cheaty mechanics where you get to get ahead for the same
I feel,
mana.
though, while the Mage is more likely to get a better head start, just because of the nature of the deck, I feel if it does go kind of toe-to-toe, the Shaman might take the mid-game with the bigger creatures, weapons, and maybe fire elementals.
Yeah. I feel like stuff like this Mech Warper might struggle because of cards like Flame Cannon that Reynad's just going to keep.
Oh, I didn't see that. That
looks like
card.
Flame
Waker. Yeah.
He also has the coin as well. Wow.
Yeah,
but it's still a little awkward. You can't really get that out too quickly, and getting things out quickly, I think, is the name of the game here.
Wow. I think we're going to see... Oh, wow. So like you said, really trying to play fast.
Yep.
1 mana
like
Spellbreaker.
It's good against Mech Warper.
Yeah.
I think we might just still see Flame Cannon on the Mech Warper.
Ooh.
Now he's going to debate, and I think maybe the Whirling Zapmatic's better because you get to potentially abuse the mana discount.
I don't know if going face is really the victory here. I think just controlling the board and getting the slightly more valuable trades is going to be the win.
Yeah, it is, but I think Whirling Zapmatic will draw out kind of a removal spell. So will Mech Warper. So which one's more valuable? Like you said, it's a Mech Warper, so I think you go with your less valuable one first, potentially.
I think the Mech Warper might actually be less valuable.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have another mech.
Yeah. he top decks a 2-drop, he'll be sad, but if he top decks anything else, he'll be fine. Okay.
It turns out better as well.
Yeah, I think it turns out better.
If the Whirling Zapmatic died to the Flame Cannon and then he plays the Mech Warper, then that gets shut out by the Spellbreaker.
So you probably just have to play Flame Waker just as a 2/4 here.
I don't think you're worried too much about taking 6 damage. You can just trade into it the next turn. You can.
I think the first 6 damage is fine.
Yeah. After that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes those crackles deadlier.
Yeah.
Wow, I'd be really surprised if the Arcane Intellect. I think he's just faking it, like making it seem like he has a bunch of different options. But
Well,
we talked about taking 6 is fine. It's fine right now, assuming he can kill it next turn.
I think the second best play is the Mirror Entity.
It's really unfortunate for Phonetap here that he didn't like draw a 2-drop, because then you could consider crackling and 2-dropping.
I think you crackle and totem.
Yeah.
Because I think
you want to totem first. Okay.
Well,
Whatever.
Lucky.
looks like it didn't matter.
It could have mattered.
Well, okay. You know, Phonetap made that play on purpose. He was willing to Earthshock.
Yeah.
Had the crackle rolled 3
To protect
and he liked his 100% odds better than his 25% times 25%.
Yeah. I think I like the Mana Mirror Entity here.
Yeah, he is. You know, we talked 6 isn't too big of a deal, but 6 plus 6, that's 12. You're getting close.
I wonder.
I think you can take another 6.
There's not many.
And then 3 more 6s and then you're dead.
Yeah, it's.
There's not many duds in the Shaman deck. He can plop a Cogmaster into the Mirror Entity, but he would have already played that because he had turns where he had open amounts of mana.
Yeah.
Well, this is a much more aggressive turn.
So whatever you play gets copied, and then next turn you're probably going to Fire Elemental. And I think you're probably going to trade this turn with the 4/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Shredder's better.
Especially because it might, like, Reynad might not trade.
Yeah, your opponent has showed you that he doesn't have a damage spell, or else he would have removed that Zap-O-Matic.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you play your Shredder, Reynad, like you said, might trade into it, and then you get to Fire Alley whatever he got, and your minion basically has charge.
I actually think Reynad is probably not going to trade. I think he's going to kill the spell damage totem most
Yeah,
likely.
that makes a lot of sense.
And if he does that, it makes the fundamental slightly stronger, which might make Reynad trade, but I don't know.
Yeah, 4/3s are.
It seems
what
like
you'd love to
both-
throw that Fire Elemental into.
I think I like Shredder a lot more here.
Yeah, it gives Reynad a much better play.
Yeah.
If he does.
He's going to decide to do that and trade. Makes a lot of sense.
I like it.
Yep.
It's really on Reynad to dictate the game from this turn.
Frostbolt off the top, pretty good though.
Pretty good.
Like, he didn't have a great play. He still would have to ping with his mana, unless he wanted to Arcane Intellect.
I think it's likely that he's going to Mana Worm Frostbolt,
Yeah.
but it's on the Shredder RNG side.
Yeah.
Because if he gets like a 3/2, that sucks.
That really sucks.
But on the other hand, if something with 1 health comes out of it, he just can ping it off and.
He's just going to Fireball
advantage.
for mana efficiency. Just so that later in the... Oh, wow. Yeah, that sucks.
Well, if he doesn't kill the spell damage
then
totem,
that's
a
Earthshock.
disaster.
Just destroys the 4/3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
I think that's like almost a game-losing attack to face.
As enticing
With
as
this
it
hand,
is,
I think it is.
he's got a lot of longevity with his hand. He can play a little bit more of a grindy game. He doesn't have to rush.
He's
I'm
debating
just
between all
confused.
3
Anything
targets.
else? Anything else is fine. Anything else is fine.
Yeah.
Just face seems really bad.
It's ambitious.
Okay. Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think you do the
I think
Mana
I'd
Worm.
kill them. Oh, really?
Well, might have been better to do the Mana Act just because in the immediate future...
He kills off the
It
Fire
gets to
Elemental, but
yeah.
just by using spells.
Well, to be fair, he might have been able to do that with the Mana Worm, too. You play a spell, and then ping.
That's less likely, though.
It is
Yeah.
less likely.
I think he might have sort of Mech Bear Cat.
Wow.
I
That's a
don't
pretty
think
good
you can
card.
play it this turn.
No, you
though.
can't. But
that fits the deck really nicely.
Yeah.
Wow, it really does.
There's not many ways that you can just kill that off right away, unless you Spell Power Lava Burst it or Crackle it for 6. So that thing's going to get quite a bit of value. Get more tokens to use with the Flame Wakers and the Archmage Anti-Ice.
The unfortunate part,
the
unfortunate part is the boom's going to come down, and so now Phonetap has attacking initiative, especially with the boom bots.
Yeah. If that thing didn't cost 3, people tuning into the stream might think that Reynad actually... Well, no, you can't.
And
the thing is, it costs 3 mana, but it still sucks because Big Game Hunter still kills it with a Battle Cry.
Yeah, but
that's
there's
true.
no Big Game Hunter in this match.
Yeah. Well...
That was totally a joke.
Went over my head, Crip.
We have to look at your face to see your sly smile.
Yeah, Crip's just like the most smug person.
I'm sorry, guys.
Well, can he play his whole hand? I think so, right? I think he has just enough mana.
I wonder.
But he'd have to trade in a Boombot.
He does.
So I think you might even Earthshock the 7/6 here, rather than the...
No.
Okay.
That secret's a pretty
He needs to trade in a Boombot, is the weird part.
I don't really understand.
He has a chance to give him 4 spare parts.
Oh, that's a good bomb.
Yeah.
He didn't want it to hit.
Yeah.
And that Annoyertron...
I don't understand why he had to trade the Boombot. Like, why is it so important to totem there? I feel like just putting more damage on the board is fine.
For some reason, I thought he could get all of his creatures down.
No. He couldn't get all of his creatures, but his decision was 3/4
the totem
or the Yeti. And I think the Yeti just putting more damage on the board is a little better.
Potentially. I mean, it looks like Phonetap's really far ahead.
Yeah.
And we pegged this Shaman deck as the deck he really needed to get a win with.
Yeah. It's just been so inconsistent for him, and in the last series, he
breaking a sweat every series.
Really struggled. And if he finds a win with it first, it opens up for 2 decks. Okay, and his other 2 decks are strongly teched against weapon classes, and Reynad has 2. He's got Hunter and Warrior. We saw Ooze and Harrison in the Druid, plus a Harrison in his own Hunter.
I think we're kind of like bypassing a part of the game here a bit too hastily.
Okay.
Reynad frostbolted a Dr. Boom and fireballed a Shredder.
Mana
that's
efficiency.
True. Also, potentially should have attacked first here. Not sure.
Oh,
I guess it was at 5. Okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, for 1. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he draws into Flame Waker,
Reynad
he's going
is
to have a
just-
bunch of spare parts.
Doesn't have a great way through. I might have even pinged off the Divine Shield because it's so, annoying to get through.
Yeah.
How do you do it? So he's going to set up a lot of taunts, give some of them attack, just play a bunch of stuff.
I think I consider stealthing the 3/2.
Just to open up more opportunities for you to be able to use your hand next turn?
Well, you're playing Tempo Mage based on spells, and you have 2 spells, and one of them draws more spells.
I think he might be holding it for Antonidas.
I see.
So it shouldn't be too hard to get through these taunts.
No. Health is his biggest resource at this point in the game since he's still at 30,
Well,
so he
wait a
wants to
second.
find a way for this 3 damage to connect into a creature to preserve his
The
board.
main question
There's
is...
a 3 health creature that can be connected with.
Yeah.
Well, the main question here is, will Dr. Boom have to run into a 0/2? And right now, I think it does. Because he needs to either get the swap spare part off the Yeti or the attack spare part. And if he can get that, then the Annoyerotron can get through a taunt. And his Dr. Boom can hit face for 7, which is incredibly important. So he's going to start out by killing the Yeti, which is good. And he got the reversing
the
part.
swap.
So you use that on the 0/2, kills it instantly, and you can push through your 7 damage plus 1. So you put your opponent to 12.
But do you have to do that? I feel like maybe a control play is okay as well.
I really like killing your opponent.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, he will go for a control play. He is very ahead on board. And basically, unless a lot of things go wrong, you won't lose
the
the
start
board.
of something going wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. That's not very good for Phonetap.
No, it's not. Suddenly, I like your play better. Going face.
I would have expected that to come from you, Crip.
There's just so many like that. That Source of Princess is amazingly valuable.
Yeah, it's so far going to reduce 2 mana from his hand, which basically lets him ping. And ping actually isn't that relevant. Unfortunate for him, but...
The one thing is that Reynad, of course, he drew into his Arcane Intellects early. He's got Azure Drake, and Phonetap's out of cards. So if you can sort of grind him out a little bit...
He's completely run out of stuff.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, both players are now playing the grind game.
Yeah.
The top deck game, the value game.
Phonetap has 2 8/8s and a Ragnaros in his deck. 2 Fel Reavers and a Rag.
Yeah, but if he gets...
And a Lothep would be insane.
Particular type of 8/8, he's not going to have anything else.
Well, that's fine, though.
This is a lot of spare parts.
Yeah.
The 8/8, I guess the free spare part is what you're worried about, mainly if you're him. But
the Mech Bear Cat.
The Mech Bear Cat.
Loaded up his hand.
I would actually really love a Fel Reaver right now.
A Fel Reaver would make this game pretty exciting.
It would.
Aww. Well, you're going to want to attack first, unless you plan on killing the 2/2 with your attack.
That would be the valuable play, yes.
The value play, but you could take your opponent to 10.
Right, but you didn't choose to take your opponent down to 12 last turn.
It's interesting. Like, your playline had to change because Reynad drew the second fireball. He was able to kill off your stuff. But Reynad's going to need even more.
Yeah, now you're in a situation, though, where...
No fireballs left.
Reynad's the one who's sort of playing reactively, and he's having to focus on clearing the board, and it gives Phonetap opportunities to draw into Burn, which is a big thing. I mean, he's still got Lava Burst, Second Crackle, Doomhammer, Rock Biters.
Yeah.
Second Power Mace.
Second Power Mace, yeah. So there's a lot of things that might just win him the game next turn.
Yeah, normally you're really happy to see Emperor, but in a late game, you know, when you're about to die, not what you want. And basically what this means is at least the 6/7 and the 1/1 are going to live. So that's 7 damage at least, and 3 damage is a breakpoint for the Shaman.
Nearly half the cards, maybe even more in his deck, do 3 damage.
Fire Elemental, Rock Biter.
Oh no, he can, Reynad can take 4 off the board.
Okay, he can take 4 off the board with the spare part, but he's not going to choose to. He's going to leave up the 1/1. And basically what Crip was meaning was you could trade the... You can kill off the taunt with the 2/2, spare part up the 3/1, trade it, and ping off the 1/1.
Yeah.
Which would make you not dead to 3 damage. But
that's not 3 damage.
Probably the worst draw in his deck. I would just go all face.
It's the best thing for Mirror Entity.
It is.
Kind of.
Not sure how relevant that is. I wonder if even there was merit to not playing it. And now he's thinking, do I trade? But that cuts your outs a bit.
Yeah.
No, I think you absolutely go face. 3 damage it's another
yeah.
bulk of cards.
It's your 1 Fire Elemental left, both Rock Biters.
Yeah.
Power Mace.
That alone is good enough for anyone.
Power Mace. That's 4 out of... I didn't see how many he had left, but...
That's like 25% of his cards, nearly. Because that's about 5 drops right there, and he has...
Yeah.
less than 20
Regardless,
cards
Reynad's
left.
going to need some stuff here.
Yeah.
Well, he could not be dead to board, Reynad.
Ooh.
With all the totems, Flame Cannon, he's going to have to get lucky.
Does he?
I believe so. You can't clear more than... You could kill all 3 totems, but then you can't kill the Yeti.
Yeah. So it's going to be like a 1 and 3 to kill the Yeti.
Yeah, it's... I would definitely trade... You could actually Time Rewinder the Azure Drake after attacking with it.
Yeah.
Use it to kill off something.
Thing is, if you just play it safe here, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you don't do that. I think you just... Yep.
YOLO.
You let it rip now.
Ooh, rip.
Never lucky. And now you have to kill the Yeti with both your guys. And we're at the point where basically Reynad's not pressuring at all. So...
And his hand's empty.
Not yet. There we go. That's pretty good.
That ruins some outs.
That ruins
Quite
a
a
lot
few.
of outs.
Yeah.
Phonetap not happy about that, but
Still...
he knows he's still in a
Lava
good
Burst,
spot.
Crackle,
Yeah,
Fire
he just
Elemental.
has so much time left with his life total.
That won't do it, but he can stealth it, and then that makes Earthshock an L.
I think you attack with the
Yeah.
with the Cog.
Right, because his Cog Master will trade for yours.
That's right, the Cog Master.
And then he'll ping it off. And Phonetap agrees with that. This makes Doomhammer into an out again.
That's about it.
Yeah. Earthshock is an out now.
Oh,
or is it?
He's got to get.
Can you really go for that?
He's got to get exceptionally.
You could make
lucky.
it a 50 or not. No, it'd be a 25%.
Well, the big thing is, oh no,
I like 25%.
You like 25%? Yeah, I probably do too. Like, wait,
I don't know.
it doesn't do it.
What?
It's the same reason why.
Wait, why wouldn't he trade first anyway? You would want to.
It was the right play, I'm sure. Reynad will tell us
What
afterwards.
emote? Hello.
All right,
Reynad will tell us.
Reynad is now trying to play as awfully with Tempo Mage as possible to convince the Blizzard Balance team to nerf that too. Okay, I see.
I remember I was actually watching Reynad stream the moment he realized that you couldn't stealth Flamewaker either.
Clearly didn't get enough experience with all 7.
It's a
spare
learning
parts.
process.
It is.
He's
It
actually
really
never played
is.
Mage before the tournament. He just made the deck on the fly in the morning before.
Yeah, I've seen him play this quite a bit actually.
Yeah, so like
okay.
Crip said, even if he didn't
All
draw
right.
it here.
There it is.
And that's it. Well played from Phonetap. Gonna take game 1 with his Shaman deck, which is a huge win for him.
Yeah. The first win is in the books for
Reynad
Phonetap.
had a 1 in 4 chance to
He had a
prevent
1 in
that
4
happening.
and, didn't do it correctly.
And I feel like if he frostbolted instead of fireball on the shredder and
That
fireball
play was really interesting.
on the Dr. Boom, I think he could have saved some life points. And I think both the, let's say, weird things out of the way, he could have maybe drawn out that game into a win.
Yeah. What he was thinking with the Fireball over Frostbolt, I think, was Frostbolt's a more flexible card for his deck with like the Flame Wakers, with the Antonidas, with the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
So if he Frostbolted,
We understand the idea, but
it didn't
like,
work
if,
out
if
when your
you do
opponent's next
that,
card is
and
Boom.
then your opponent plays a big card, you have nothing.
Especially with, there's Fel Reavers, there's Rag, there's Boom. There's a lot of stuff you want to Fireball and not Frostbolt. And so the Frostbolt just ended up saving him 7 life. It wasn't enough at the end. And yeah, pretty interesting game.
Yeah, I feel like, let's just call it nerves. I think both players could have done a few things differently.
Let's just call it nerves.
Well, let's just call it nerves.
Okay.
Well put, Crip.
Yeah.
And Reynad's going to go in with the Mage deck again.
Yeah.
This time it's against Druid. Pretty favorable, I'd say, for Reynad.
Yeah.
Depends. Tempo Mage does lose to itself a lot of the time.
I think Druid gives you a lot more openings than most other classes to win, though.
Well, I'd still say the Mage is slightly favored.
Yeah. And
Mirror Entity gets a lot of value.
Especially since Phonetap, he said in one of his interviews, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, his deck is tech heavily towards weapon classes, and so the techs that he has against non-weapon classes really hurt him. Harrison Jones and Ooze in his Druid deck, if he draws those in his opening hand, just having a vanilla 3-2 or a vanilla 5-4 is not that great against the Mage deck.
I actually kind of disagree. I think the Ooze is in addition to the existing number of 2-drops, and just having more early game is good against Tempo Mage.
Well,
it gets eaten up
really
really
doesn't
easily.
play 2-drops, and especially with Wild Growth, you don't really have time for it. But it is a nice thing to proc Mirror Entity.
You're hard mulliganing for Wild Growth anyway. It's sort of like, well...
I just feel Druid also loses to itself.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
This is going to get Flame Cannoned, so it's not that big of a deal for Reynad.
Yeah.
I think it might get Flame Cannon next turn.
Yeah, you can wait 2 turns if you're Reynad, so he could coin out Mad Scientist. That's what he's going to do.
Looks good.
Yep. I would maybe consider trading, though, if I were Phonetap. But he's just going to hope he doesn't have the Flame Cannon.
Well played.
I feel like this
Well
game is over.
played from Reynad.
I actually agree with Reynad.
You agree with Reynad?
This game's over.
About what?
This game's over.
Yeah, I mean, his plays have been correct, sure.
No, I feel like the Druid... Oh, the Ooze!
The Ooze!
Double hero power into drop the Ooze to get that Mirror Entity.
Yeah! Oh, man. That's not that good.
But wouldn't you have rather just had a Shredder there?
Oh, man.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to Lotheb next turn, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
The Entity. Now if he top decks...
Is there another secret? I thought he revealed only 2
You know,
Mirror Entities.
Keeper... If
only
he drew
has
Keeper, he could
Mirror
actually
Entity.
use it for the damage Yeah, and it would kill the scientist, get no secret, and then copy it.
Right.
So I don't know about that. It works out really well. Phonetap's just going to throw out the Lothub.
Why?
Yeah, you can get that.
Why did you do that?
Not too sure.
It stops the tempo.
Does it?
Well, it would allow
You
him...
play a 5-5 without charge, and you give your opponent a 5-5 with charge.
Imagine if he had played something else. He could have dealt with it with a spell and then had an extra creature on the board.
Yeah, it's just face from Reynad.
Yeah.
I actually really like this. It looked like he was really hesitant to do this earlier, to just go face with this mage deck. But, yeah, seems good here.
Yeah. Druid usually only plays like one creature per turn, so if you can just overwhelm them and start using spells to deny your early spells to deny their creatures and then draw into burn spells later on. This is one of the reasons why Tempo Mage is favored in this matchup.
Yeah. Reynad's going to have, at minimum 8 damage heading into next turn. He's going to put his opponent to 12 if he just all faces. And with the 0-mana unstable portal, even more tempo.
I'm starting to think that maybe Phonetap didn't do as much research as he could have on Reynad. Maybe in same remark as Reynad said, he just has no idea what's going on with Phonetap. Because I think if you knew that was Mirror Entity, you would not play Lothab. You'd just not.
He has to have known, though. We've talked about it a lot, that it's just double Mirror Entity.
Yeah, I think he knew. I think he's also on a team Hearthlytics, that I'm sure they have a lot of people kind of behind the scenes doing work for him and saying, hey, there are these cards in these players' decks for this match. And I know Sixo's been helping him a lot. So,
yeah. If you think about it, if he had played something else, he could have dealt with it with like a Frostbolt and then had an extra creature on board
turn
that
is
he
ridiculous.
wouldn't have been able to deal with.
Wow.
His wildest dreams can come true with this unstable portal.
Reynad's thinking about just Frostbolting face, I think. He's like, maybe I just want the damage.
What I kind of want to see happen is that Frostbolt face, and he just moves all his creatures quickly to the face, and then the spells trigger the Shredder into a Doomsayer that's not killed.
Wow. That'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Bold. I know you're all about that, the fun.
Well, I think he also wants to trade in a scientist, is what he's thinking. You want to get that Mirror Entity, restrict your opponent's plays even more. So it's going to start with Unstable Portal. We'll see what he gets. And this plays around Doomsayer for the most part.
It really does.
Wow.
If he gets a creature that's 2 or less, whoa!
Whoa! Esports.
Yeah. Well, Reynad said once upon a time,
I think I
Unstable Portal is the best card in the entire
game. That was
game.
a 5 damage freeze face Frostbolt.
That was a 5 damage Frostbolt. Next turn
good.
It might be 6 with the Drake, though.
I guess.
And I mean, this is, 14, so he has to heal. He is committed to healing with Ancient Lore, and you're not going to win the game that way.
You're just not going to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many ways you're going to win the game either way.
0 way to win this game for Phonetap. That is 14 on board, 4 from hand. He needs a lucky Flamewaker hit.
Doesn't really need it. To kill him this turn?
Kill him this turn. I want him dead this turn, PJ.
If you did Frostbolt last turn, that would have been it.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm sad he didn't do this last. There it is.
Let's clean that up.
That's lethal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, both players...
That was completely brutal.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about, the Tempo Mage, you either get brutalized or you just completely demolish them.
Well, Phonetap in this tournament is no stranger to getting brutalized.
Yeah.
But he's still here.
But this is a new situation for him, He doesn't have to win with Mech Shaman anymore this entire tournament.
But now Reynad doesn't have to win with Tempo Mage the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're down to good decks.
Yeah, we're basically down to the actual final of the final on the final day of the ESL finals.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Both players, 2 more wins left to go. Reynad now with Warrior and Hunter remaining, and Phonetap with Druid and Hunter remaining.
Hey, you have to favor Reynad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe his Patron Warrior play has been quite on point today.
Today, yep.
Today. That's what I said, today.
Yeah.
Glad we cleared that up.
Good.
Yeah.
You do have to factor in the fact that I can't help but mention it. Harrison Jones plus
That's
Ooze,
true. That's true.
and
Yeah,
also
does
a
work
Harrison
against
Jones.
both.
He's
Yeah,
got Harrison Jones in his Hunter as well.
The Druid is a little behind just in the matchup as a whole, but with the extra weapon removal.
Yeah.
We talked about that. I don't think we came to a real decision, though, because it's still kind of a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Well,
But
Phonetap
less
faced
so.
Roger,
Yeah.
and Roger had just the absolute nuts draw with Despite into turn 5 Patron, Enrage,
but
Enrage,
that's the
and he
thing.
oozed the Despite.
That's the
and
thing.
won.
Like the nuts draw includes a weapon.
Yeah.
When you get like the second nuts that doesn't include a weapon, I think you just crush them.
Well, the weapons are like what you need to do well.
Yeah, they're pretty instrumental.
And I believe that's the matchup we just saw on screen is going to be Druid versus Warrior.
Mhm.
So I know this is probably what Phonetap wants. Clearly, if you're putting the weapon removal in the Druid, it's to get a favorable matchup against the Warrior.
Yeah, and the Hunter, it doesn't really need the weapons as much.
This is a very important match because Hunter is pretty favored against Druid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, the Hunter's probably just hitting your face, just trying to race you before you can really combo off and do anything big.
Right.
So they're going to get one hit
Wow.
off weapon anyway.
Whoa.
Wow.
That draw.
The question is, like, do you keep all of this?
I
Probably,
think
right?
That's the prayer. That's the prayer there. That's Dr. Boom, I need you now.
Or Ancient of Lore.
Well,
Like
Dr.
something.
Boom kind of dies to, like, Whirlwind Execute even.
Okay.
So
I
I
think
think
one
you'd rather
innovate.
just stream, like, a bunch of good threats. Even Ancient Allure just to kind of, like, replenish your hand.
Yeah.
But obviously Dr. Boom, insane if they don't have Execute. Just going to smork them to death.
Dropping an innervate.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think
I
I actually
agree.
don't know how that works. I haven't played Druid enough to draw
think
into
this
that in
is
my mulligan
fine.
stage.
I think this is fine from him.
Okay.
He realizes sometimes too much of one thing is not good.
How frequent is that? You've played some Druid.
Not very frequent. Sometimes you'll get the double innervate, but without the wild growth, you usually keep it.
Double innervate wild growth with garbage.
He decided not to innervate the Shredder here because he wants to have a flexible curve later on, and he's scared of Fiery War Axe.
Seems fine.
Wow.
Maybe not now.
Wow.
Now you can do Shredder and a Shredder.
Yeah, I think he's thinking, do I want more pressure? And I think the pressure would have been okay, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does delay your wild growth.
This opens up an opportunity where if he draws into a big 7-drop like Ancient of Lore, Dr. Boom, he can play it after both Shredders.
Reynad's hand is
Pretty
really
easily.
bad.
Yes.
He needs to draw a weapon off the top. Like I was talking about, without the weapons, you don't have anything to supplement your minions. Your minions are all very weak in this
Right.
deck, actually.
Well,
Wow.
they're weak to start.
And Reynad has no response. He needs to draw into it.
He
Or,
has-
or Whirlwind. Yeah.
Whirlwinds.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind. No, it's Whirlwind, I think.
Yeah, it's Whirlwind.
Just one Whirlwind would
And
bring.
he would do
then
that.
Yeah.
He would do that.
Yeah.
Weapon would be insane, though. No, he's just going to Whirlwind and Battle Rage for a card.
Yeah. He knows that he's playing Thorsan
No.
on 6, so he just
That's
wants to
pretty
make
good
sure
hand.
he opens up his
For the
hand as
Warrior?
much as possible.
Yeah, it's if he can stay in here, it's Thorson
Yeah.
into 4 combo pieces at least.
And there's the Ooze. And double Shredder comes out.
Oh. Double Shredder.
And with a swipe and a keeper, that lets you kind of answer the patrons.
Yeah.
Lets you kill off the 2 health one and the 3 health one, and he has a board for sure to deal with the other ones, if there are
It's
any.
certainly looking very good for Phonetap.
Yeah.
But
And what could be happening here?
I think this is an armor turn.
Yeah, you can't play worse on Commander.
I think you can loot hoarder if you want.
You can
Loot
loot
Hoarder.
Hoarder for sure, yeah.
Yeah. If you Emperor Thorsan next turn, it opens up so many opportunities for you to not only combo with Grim Agent and Warsong Commander, but also draw, because everything will
now-
pretty much open up on turn 7.
If you're Phonetap, you can think about silencing the Loot Hoarder.
I think you just do silence the loot hoarder.
Yeah, and then hero powering it off and going face for 8. A lot of pressure being built up. No combo pieces. And he does still have that 1 innervate left in his deck.
What about keeper and then swipe face?
Nah. I think that's a little ambitious.
Okay.
Get that 4 damage in.
Well, he does have the follow-up charge hero power. I mean, he can
He
do
does,
crazy
but-
amount of damage.
Yeah.
Right, but he is running out of stuff.
Yeah.
And
If he duds for the next
Well,
2
he
turns.
will run out of stuff on turn 8.
In fact, I think, yeah, this is okay too. An all face.
Okay.
So you want to hit face, that's how you hit face,
I
Crib.
see. Okay, I've learned.
I think he's saving the
You
keeper.
play the creature and you go...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I got it.
Crib's got it. But I think he's saving the keeper just in case the patron turn happens, because keeper swipe really answers patrons well when they're reduced on mana.
Because a lot of times they're varying amounts of health, like 1, 2. You can pick off the 2 and then swipe the 3 in order to pick them all off. So it opens up opportunities where you can kill them all in one turn.
Yeah.
I think Tharson here.
Yep.
Still.
Yeah, I think you just have to. That's the way you're going to win.
I don't know if you're going to find many other opportunities to do it.
So it'd have to be Savage Roar plus something for Reynad to be dead.
Yeah.
Savage Roar representing 8 here.
Whoa!
Card's alright.
Do you do that, though?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he puts him down to 10.
Here comes the turn, though. Like, if Reynad's going to, make a comeback, this is the turn.
All right, so...
And now the question is, how can Reynad do this? Like, we've seen him mess up a lot of sequencing.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
he needs to go quick.
To mess up
yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, he sort of has to have the option of whether or not he
Like,
plays
quick.
Armor Smith to gain health
Like, quick.
or Battle Rage to gain cards.
TJ, he needs to go.
Yeah, he needs to start right now.
So he's going to pop that first.
Or,
I don't think he realizes how long the animations are truly going to take.
Yeah. All right, so he's going to go for the health route.
Well, that's bad for our Phonetap.
It's just another thing to bounce a patron into.
Yeah.
And now his board's a little bit blocked, but and Phonetap kind of smiles like, oh no.
Or, oh yes.
I'm thinking more of the oh no.
Okay.
And that's
Now
rogue.
it's tricky.
I think you're whirlwinding eventually.
If you're whirlwinding,
This
you're
hits
not
the War Song
attacking anymore.
Commander. An owl. He can't clear the boom. And he didn't get the Battle Rage off, and a lot of stuff's dying. And now he's getting, yep. I told you he had to go.
Yep.
And he's going to miss a lot of patron attacks.
One.
Just one.
Well, he could have gotten even more, right? Oh, maybe not. Oh, 1 on the commander is not good, but swipe clears the entire board, and he's out of stuff.
Yeah, but the warrior has basically full health.
That doesn't matter. You're getting hit for 7 each turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting hit for 7 each turn. He
The-
opted to gain health that turn instead of cards. So
You can either silence the Armor Smith or Hero Power it before you swipe, and it gains you more damage. Because if you swipe with it out there, he'll gain 4 more armor.
I kind of like it. Like, Reynad's got 2 cards. Whatever.
And those 2 cards are terrible.
Well, it's just whatever. He doesn't know he doesn't know that they're terrible.
Yeah.
how good could 2 guards possibly be?
Well, they're both
War Song
reduced.
Commander, Grim Patron, good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even then, that doesn't really matter because if he just swipes
It
here,
matters if you keep her.
yeah,
Yeah.
So he decides to Hero Power it off. And I think I wouldn't be surprised to see an Ooze or a Keeper face. I think he was doing the math on if keeping face or keeping for the silence was better. And this is probably the most damage you
Yeah,
can
it's 1
do.
more damage.
So next turn.
does he set up for lethal is the big thing. He does 2
Yeah,
damage
yeah,
now,
he's
puts it
doing
down to
the math.
14. He would have 9 damage on board, so
Oh,
he
no,
would
it's the
have
same
to
damage.
do.
It's exactly the same damage. Well, that means it's bad then, because he took 1 more damage.
It's exactly the same? Okay. He's just going to decide to hold on to everything.
Okay.
Playing
Well-
super safe. Awful draw. Really good draw.
Whoa. I mean, he deals with the Dr. Boom, but he
A
still
lore
doesn't have
would
stuff.
be insane.
Well, I just see the shaking of the cards there.
Okay, that's really good.
Pretty much
You
just
probably-
any creature that he could play would have been good.
I think you're just holding the Ooze, I guess.
Why not? There's plenty of weapons in that deck.
Yeah, you're going to get value eventually. If you're Phonetap, your main worry here is just like either a huge patron combo in the upcoming turns, or like an acolyte plus some damage plus a battle rage. Anytime battle rage could get.
We know.
Oh, he already used both battle
yeah,
rages.
he used both.
Well, Armor Smith's terrible.
Yeah, this is basically the weakness of the
And
Grim Patron
that's
decks. Each individual card is terrible.
Savage Roar off the top is going to end this game.
Wow.
And Reynad couldn't quite do it. Had a really insane turn, but...
You can see Phonetap.
Phonetap is on match point,
Yeah,
guys.
Phonetap is on match point with his Hunter deck, which he's had the most success with.
He's fist pumping. He has to beat either Hunter or Warrior with a Hunter deck that's actually teched pretty well for both of those because he has Harrison Jones in his Hunter.
Yeah.
And Hunter just by itself is pretty good against Grim Patron.
Yeah.
Grim Patron's the best deck out there. If you're even or maybe slightly favored, that's a good spot.
Yeah.
If you're going to be up 2-1, Hunter's a good deck to be up 2-1 with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far today, Hunter has slightly above a 50% win rate.
Unbelievable.
So I believe it's around 50.
Well, the losing
52%.
players had Hunters too.
Yeah, that's true. So
it is
that's not so
interesting.
far today. That's so far over the whole weekend. It's got a total of a 52% win rate, I do believe.
It is interesting. We came into today with 4 Hunter players, 4 non-player Hunters.
Yeah.
Final, 2 Hunter players.
Yeah.
So the Hunters did succeed quite a bit.
Yeah. Warrior surprisingly has about the same win rate. So it's I think Warrior might be exactly 50%. I haven't accounted the last 2 series.
Well, when all
Do you
players
have statistics on Shaman, just out of curiosity?
Shaman after that last matchup, I have to factor in the 0-3. So total it's 5 and 9.
Oh.
Wow.
Is that 50%?
Not quite 50%, Grip.
Well, Shaman's gone, which is really good news for Phonetap and fans of him.
Yeah.
Don't have to sweat the Shaman. We're sweating Hunter now if you're wanting Phonetap to win. Reynad has to take 2 straight against the Hunter deck with his Patron Warrior and his own Hunter.
Wouldn't it be poetic, though, if the grand finals was Hunter versus Hunter?
Hunter versus Hunter Game 5 would be it, yeah.
All right. Well, we are leading into that.
Yeah. Well, he hits his 2 drops, Phonetap does, so he gets Haunter Creeper Mad Scientist. That's a good start.
Two Mad Scientists. Buddy draws a trap.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a really good
Oh.
Yeah. Kind of the issue you run into when you draw too many of those.
Often you encourage that draw because Mad Scientist is an unbelievably good keep.
Yeah, so you're even more likely than usual to get it.
Yeah. Well, Reynad sort of draws duds as well. Double execute.
Axe
While
is
it may be
fine.
good later.
He's got the axe.
Yeah.
And that.
Battle Rage, pretty likely to
We're
get
in 1
good
card
eventually.
range now.
Yeah.
Better than last game at points.
Yeah.
Hunter's Mark's not a great draw, though.
Yeah.
Not a lot of targets to hit with it in this matchup.
Emperor Thorson is probably the best you're going to do.
Yep. And an Armor Smith, pretty good for Reynad. Could even see him Whirlwind off the 1/1s if he wanted to. But he'll probably want to keep the Whirlwind.
How much does he want to play around Eaglehorn Bow?
A lot. You wouldn't Whirlwind the Armor Smith if you were to Whirlwind.
Or you would.
Well, we don't know if he's going to Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just not going to. This makes sense. 1/1s aren't incredibly scary. Whirlwind is a combo piece. It will gain some value later on as well with cards such as Unleash the Hounds.
You think there's some merit just keeping the trap up in your own face?
Well, the Armor Smith's still going to be there, so it's still going to give armor to
Yeah, but you
the
could
warrior
just kill
player.
it later.
But how much armor is it going to give you before later happens?
Yeah, the
It's not like
safe
there's
play.
a turn 4 taunt. Just kill next turn.
Yeah.
Dread Course there.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, with Death Bite, maybe that would be a
Yes.
realistic.
Frothing
turn.
Berserker might have sort of a taunt.
Well, then you just kill the Armor Smith and Frothing gets frozen.
Lotheb's really nice.
That's true.
And Scientist Hero Power, not the worst thing ever. So if he can start drawing into stuff like Savannah High Main, he's doing well. And he's going to leave up the loot border.
I like this.
Yeah, he's going to try and just push for more damage, go for an aggressive play. And he's got another freezing in hand. No point.
I think he really understands like the issue with the Grim Patron. It's that once you start the draw, you keep drawing.
It's dying early.
Yeah.
Is the Grim Patron's problem, not late.
Yeah.
So he's going to push for this gets 1 more damage, and it saves your 1/1. So basically 2 more damage. You're going to get a bow charge if he runs in the loot hoarder, and you have another freezing anyway.
Yeah.
And to Reynad, he's thinking, if I proc this freezing, his Mad Scientist is going to fetch the other one, which I don't want.
Yeah. What I'm really amazed is how many times Phonetap is drawn into terrible trap combinations through his games.
It's happened a lot this tournament.
Yeah.
I think you're saying tournament, but I think you mean
Is it
Phonetap.
just Phonetap?
Yes.
Okay.
From what I remember, it's just been Phonetap.
I'm pretty surprised we didn't see... Oh, wow. Really good top deck for Phonetap. There are executes in Reynad's hand, but even still.
Well, paving the way for it with Lotheb is actually really great because you know that the board's going to be in a pretty good state going into the next turn.
Right.
And making sure that you have like a good board to play Savannah Hyman on is one of the strengths of
that hand.
I think that, yeah.
Oh my god.
Right, like, I'm surprised he didn't cycle the Battle Rage last turn. I feel like a lot of players might have. I guess he feels he can get value off of it later.
I feel like these freeze traps are just crushing. Reynad cannot deal with one.
Yeah, it's interesting here, though. Like, do you just throw away your bow?
Nah. Love the time.
You just run in your Lotheb?
Yeah.
Okay. You're giving up 5 damage to save a bow that's going to probably get 6 damage?
Yep.
Maybe 9 damage if you get off the other freezing. So, probably worth it long term. But he's going to go with the bow and kill off the loot hoarder.
Okay, I like this better.
This is...
It's because Reynad obviously had no idea what to do against one freeze trap, and he still got 2. And he removed the option
Is
of...
that the logic? You're just like, well, if you couldn't deal with 1, try 2.
Well,
you can't really play both at once.
He was kind of like leaving the option just to tempo him out by returning the loot hoarder. But now he realizes Reynad is not even willing to do that.
Yeah. And
so
Reynad's hand...
I think it's a sudden change of play that seems great.
Oh, and this is, like, bad. Because...
Wow.
Basically, waste some of his mana for this turn, which isn't a huge deal. But decides, you know, like, 2 turns later, oh, wait, I do want to cycle Battle Rage. Again, kind of going back to his lack of experience with the deck. He wasn't aware that maybe he did need to cycle it, or else he would get aggroed down.
So he has 13 on board, 15 with hero power.
It's a lot of damage, TJ.
That is a lot of damage.
I just don't see how Reynad comes even close to going back in this game.
It's going to be... I mean, his early draw was just all duds. The executes don't do much for the early game of Hunter.
He needs a completely different hand.
Yeah, you can see Phonetap. Like, if you're Phonetap, you're still scared. 7 cards in a patron hand could wipe you, like, really
if he
soon.
had a completely different hand, it could be scary. But he has the opposite of that
And you see Phonetap, when he played just the frothing, pretty clearly he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine.
And that Mad Scientist gets value. Because it bluffs the second trap, which you can't deal with.
Oh, man.
Which is hilarious.
So he only has 6 on board now.
Wow!
Turn 7!
And if this isn't Phonetap's tournament to take, I don't know why.
2 games in a row now on turn 7, Dr. Boom has showed up for,
he hasn't played it yet.
For Phonetap.
Oh,
he has not played it yet.
He's a little scared of the Warsong Patron combo running into Boombots. Oh, no! Overthinks it. He had a freezing trap up even.
Well, he still does.
Yeah, he's worried about Warsong charging something out to soak the freezing trap and then getting domed for like 10.
To be honest, you can't really blame him for playing safe. This is match point. This is tournament point for him.
Look at this nail-biting turn. Look at that.
Yeah. He's eating his whole finger.
Well, this is terrible. He's going to be eating 9 damage. He's saying, okay, if you don't have 4 damage, it's a little better than 3.
He could be on a... He could have been on a draw to win. So 5, 6, 7.
He just gave up Emperor Thorson because he was afraid of taking 2 extra damage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a combo deck.
And now we're going to see Boom.
When you have to use combo pieces like this, it just crumbles.
Phonetap's afraid that he might be getting comboed here, but we know there's no combo in sight.
No way.
Yeah. You can see Phonetap. He's taking like
He's
deep
going
breaths.
to have, and this has got to be a concede.
Oh my goodness.
It's not over quite yet, but Reynad goes for the concede button. He clicked it, I think.
Did he click it?
He clicked it.
He clicked it. The headset's off.
Phonetap's going to take ESL Legendary Series Season 2.
Oh, man.
The champion of the Season 2 Legendary Series right on your screen. It is going to be Phonetap, and we're not going to waste any time. We're going to have Dan standing by on stage with a winner's interview.
Congratulations to our Season 2 champion, Phonetap from Team Hearthlytics. He takes $10,000 and 100 World Championship points. And the man of the moment as he has overcome all odds despite coming through the open bracket in the last chance qualifier. Phonetap. A lot of journeys, a lot of emotions. Tell me what's going on through your mind right now.
I won.
You've won. You're the most recent addition to your team. You've done it. You've helped so many people in the past practice for their tournament victories. But today, it's about your victory. What do you want to say to thank all the people who have made this possible for you?
All right, first off, shout out to my team, Hearthlytics, for recruiting me and believing in me. Shout out to my practice group, Under the Radar. You guys got me this far, and I've helped you, and this is great. And shout out to Sixo, because he helped me get through this tournament. So I guess that's a better shout out for him. So.
All right, congratulations. At this time, we'd like to welcome Milkcast to the stage to present to you the trophy as a Season 2 champion. Thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in throughout the Season 2 champion. Phonetap is your winner. A consolation prize to Reynad, who has also gotten second, but we are done. Thank you so much to Gigabyte and Plantronics for sponsoring Season 2. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in and watch. We'll see you guys next season for more Legendary Series. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time.